to more Stanley and Bucket adventures. Who is excited to get into it? I am. I am super excited. I love Stanley though. It's like one of my favorite games for sure. I am having a total brain fart today. My brain has decided not to work today. It's probably melting from all the monsters I drink, honestly. It's just interacting with my brain. Fucking melt. It's got monster brain mush. If that actually happened, it'd be crazy. Brain just fucking melts one day. Starts leaking out of your ears. Well, I don't think that would happen. Because your eardrums, I think, would prevent it from actually leaking out. Could leak out your nose. Could definitely come out your nose. What color do you think that'd be? It would depend on the kind of monster you had. Like if you had like a regular monster that's green, it'd be like a brownish color. It's like that's what pink and green make. It's kind of a brownish color. It'd be like slime. Just dripping. Oh, it's gross. I don't think about that. I had a runny nose, so I'm already thinking about things. Coming out of my nose. Because allergies fucking suck. Anyway, let's get to this game. Who is ready? Are you ready for some Stanley? Or just gross mouth noises. I could do gross mouth noises for the...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company.
Oh yeah, we've seen that. Like 1,000 times.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Gone.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't think I did. 'Cause I'm Stanley. I don't think Stanley would miss a memo.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Duh.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We gotta find this last fucking statue. Oh shit, I can go in the broom closet.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
No stickers? Lame. Can I come back in? And go back out. Okay. We'll go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting
No,
he
I
had
have
left
done
his
this.
post during work hours. He might be fined for
Yeah,
that.
we've done this
And in
before.
such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he
Shit.
believed everyone had vanished?
I
His
totally
boss
forgot
would
we've done
think he
this.
was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe
How about
I am
ASMR?
crazy.
Just
He looked
ASMR
down
over
at the
the
bucket in
fucking
his
narrator.
arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. Well, that's strange, Stanley
Gross mouth
thought.
noise
Usually
ASMR.
the bucket is a source
Who's
of
ready?
guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly
not
wrong.
my
Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh, no, not off the ground.
Gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley!
Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed
Could it be
forward
my
from room to
bucket?
room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
I'm
He
coming
had
for
to
you,
find
bucket.
the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
It's
The
coming
real
from
bucket
inside of the
was
morning.
inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and
And he
blacked out.
blacked the fuck out.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Welcome back, Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right
Dang.
away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
No
Of
bucket.
course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how
All of it.
everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented
Could you
if
imagine?
only he'd taken his bucket with
Your
him.
whole life is a video game?
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter.
Yeah, hold
But
on
of
to that
course,
bucket,
she had
Mariella.
no time for this.
See what
There
happens if you
were
don't
a
have your
myriad
bucket?
of confusing problems
Nah.
she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Yeah. I didn't realize I had done it
All of his co-workers were
until I
gone.
was already doing
What
it
could
again.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So I went a little unhinged there, okay?
It takes a lot of
You
humility
fucking-
to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and
Come
then
for your
proceeded
toes.
onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
It is.
And here it was. Had the bucket
For
turned out to be
sure.
correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
The bucket
Stanley
was
took the door on his left to go back to, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I know. I want to find all the statues. I don't know where they are.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet.
No more
simply because I
stickers.
have no remaining stickers.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him all, but Stanley guessed
There
the
it
correct
is.
code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Bucket, it's me and my bucket.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
What if I just stay in the elevator? What if I just don't go anywhere? Then what? Nothing. Then the story doesn't move forward. And what are you gonna do about it? Huh? Narrator.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh,
What
no.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped,
Well, that motherfucker
monitored
was
like
fired.
guinea pigs. The bucket
Whoever that is
had
over
never
there.
seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring
Oh, they
it
were fired.
that
They
everything
were
would
fired.
be fine.
Fired. Fired. Fired.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Now I want to do something else. I don't want to push these buttons. There's got to be something else, right? I gotta be able to do something else in here. Come on, Stanley.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
Yep.
How could the bucket have betrayed him like this?
Fucking bucket.
Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Not silly birds. Yeah, I did this one last time too.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along?
Probably.
Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And
Stanley was happy. Let's see. Have
All of his
we
co-workers
done...
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate, assertive yet compassionate. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them
gone down
detoured
here
through
with
the
the bucket?
maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I don't think we have. I think we've only done this just Stanley.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh, no, we have. Damn it. Okay.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
No, they do.
Yes, I
They do
know
want
I'm the one
bucket.
who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the
No.
Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
What, did I just go in here? Hmm?
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
No, done this.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh, wait. No, wait. There is something here we haven't done.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the
All right,
Stanley
let's check it,
Parable.
Bucket.
True, it also was not in the original
Let's go.
game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much
Let's go. Open it.
personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Sure.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell
Does
it
it
out
make
for
buckets?
you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one
Why can't
personality
they do
trait
it?
deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if
I
you
just,
were
like,
to really
hold it to
explore the
myself.
Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort
I
of
don't think it's
Bucket
gonna let me
Destroyer
put the
merchandise the
bucket in.
fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh, there goes
Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
F in chat for the bucket destroying machine.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Ah, Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly need. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Danger. Danger everywhere.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
No, I want to go this way. Come on, man. Stanley knows what a bucket is. It's ridiculous.
Now then,
Oh, is this a game show?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios.
Is
and
this
you'll tell
a
me whether or not the
bucket?
thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Wait, wouldn't that be a bucket, though? Isn't that still a bucket?
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
Hello!
Is this a bucket?
Apparently we're running with...
Correct. This
What?
is a bucket.
Wait. Wait. What?
Item
3D
6.
printed buckets are not buckets.
Is this a bucket?
But apparently that tractor was a bucket. This is not a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? Wait, what?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that.
Why would Bucket do that?
But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
No, wait, you can't. No,
Okay.
my bucket.
Here we go.
Don't take my bucket. No! No!
What happened? Is everything gone? Why
See?
did everything disappear?
Everything was a bucket.
Was everything a bucket?
Yes.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
Yes.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And
Congratulations.
you're still here.
I'm not a bucket.
Either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person?
I'm to everyone.
Here we go.
I'm to absolutely everyone that everything is a bucket. Then what?
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it?
Yes, it is.
This Stanley's office?
Yeah. This is Stanley's office. See?
Is
Stanley's
without
bucket.
The bucket really Stanley at all? No, surely not.
No. I don't think that's right. But the rest of it was, right?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chin. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the
I want to do
place
that
to
again,
be.
but the opposite.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Dangerous danger.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which,
Everything's
if that's
a
true,
bucket.
well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it.
Everything
This
is a
misunderstanding
bucket.
could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is.
Is that
and
worse or better
isn't
than
a
everything
bucket.
being cake, though?
Please, step in here for a moment.
Because, like, when everything was cake, it was edible. But everything being a bucket...
Now then, I'm going to run you through
I
some
guess you
test
put things in
scenarios,
buckets,
and
huh?
you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know
I don't know if
about
it's
what
better or
is
worse.
or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
No way.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an
I
actual bucket.
still think that means it's an actual bucket, my guy. Like...
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
I don't know. I don't think that's a bucket.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating?
Oh, I
This is a
should have done that the
tractor.
other way.
It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely
screw it up.
incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
I don't think it is. I don't think that's a bucket. I think you got those backwards.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How is it a bucket and not a bucket? How does that work? Hello!
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
We're trying to figure out if things are buckets.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a
I
bucket,
did that backwards
makes
again.
it sound like
I
I'm
meant to
saying
push the other
everything
one.
is a bucket,
Crap.
which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think?
I fucked
Answer
it
me
up.
straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any
Oh, I
of us
can't
know
leave.
what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm
I fucked
afraid
it
the
up.
bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry.
Alright, I'm gonna
I'm
come
going
through
to
here without
erase
the
all
bucket next
buckets
time.
from the game entirely.
See if we can go
Okay,
through that other
Here
door.
we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait,
Because everything was a
Was
bucket. We just went through
everything a
this, my guy.
bucket? every
I
single
know he
thing
doesn't
in the
know
game
that,
was
but
a
I know
bucket.
that. Y'all know
Oh my
that.
God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So,
I know.
tell you
Because
what,
you broke it.
I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And
Okay.
we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information
gotta.
might do to a
I'm gonna
person.
tell him.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna tell him they're all buckets. Alright. Let's go
Wait,
bucketless
Stanley
this time.
thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that
Yes.
possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
You are not.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, it is a very nice color.
Stanley felt
Very
lightheaded.
nice
Butterflies in his
shade
stomach. Giddy, but eager to
steel
get back
blue.
to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yeah, we're not doing that either.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley,
let's go
I think
through the
perhaps
door.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone
isn't
you've
it
been
great?
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you
Yes.
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove
Red and
that
blue.
I'm on your side. Give me a
Wait,
chance.
no. Red and...
Now,
Yes,
listen
there he
carefully.
is!
This is and there it is. The last...
Yeah!
Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is
Hell
doing
yeah, it
something
is!
just for the sake of doing it. Where so many
got the
people
last
expect to be
figurine.
rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
I got them all. Woo! Does it actually matter? I'm gonna go blue.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
What's this? No, I think I'm gonna walk through the blue door.
I still don't think
Nope.
we're communicating properly.
Oh.
Stanley walked through the red
No, blue door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley.
Thank
you want
you.
to know so badly what's out there? You want
I
to
do.
find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
Yeah.
don't let me stop you.
Thank you.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yeah.
Do not think I put a lot of time into that, because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work
Ooh,
with
skill
me.
trees
You've
would
given
be
me
cool.
absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Well,
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
no.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's
Yeah.
not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge.
No, it's
Here,
mine.
Based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
All right, let's go. Ceiling light. Where's the ceiling light, my guy? Come on. What's this? Worldwide leaderboards. I wonder if that's actually me. Oh, wow. I'm last. Lame. My friends list is not empty. That's rude. A dead rat is objectively ranked 9,327th out of 9,328 players worldwide. Wow.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You
All right,
wouldn't
let's
mind
go.
taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game,
It's the
the baby crawls
baby
left towards danger.
game.
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very
Oh, no.
meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Bye, baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
Oh, what are we gonna play?
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What do we play? Yo, it should have more cats. Narrator, cats. What the fuck is this?
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower. Perhaps for some
Creep
sort
tower?
of twisted, erotic purpose.
I don't want to be in a creep
Yes,
tower.
that must be it. What a
I wanna
fascinating
eat these
venture into
space
the
puffs,
experience
though.
of total mental depravity.
Those look
So
delicious.
far, I love everything
Can you
about
drink
this
some
game,
bleach?
Stanley. And it seems there's even more.
Can I leave?
Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
What?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No, hey, hey,
Oh,
hey.
goodness, Stanley, what a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing, that big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
No,
We're out of the woods now, Stanley.
let me out.
Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find
No.
another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just
What
a
is
nice
this?
big box for you to run around in. There isn't
I don't
any
wanna run around in a
possibility that you
box.
could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so
Super
what
Bears.
exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think
Oh.
it's sports ball. Oh, what
Oh, I know
fun.
this.
We
I
shall
know this
run the
game.
bases
Wait.
and do a touchdown together. Yes.
I think I know this
surely
game.
we must. Okay, Stanley.
I've never
here's the
actually
ball.
played it,
Have
though.
fun.
Oh, ball. Whee!
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun?
Hold on. What are you doing?
Listen, I'm a simple man. I see a
Stanley,
hole,
don't do that.
I jump
can't
in the
follow you
hole.
there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was Rocket League. Oh no, we're in the Stanley Parable back rooms. It's turning into a horror game? No? Nothing doing here, huh? Hello?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
Awesome.
The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Oh. There's no balloons. Oh,
Stanley,
shit.
I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it
It
fill you
was.
to the brim
Yeah.
with inner richness?
No, I was super
Yes,
excited,
I know
yeah.
we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing
Oh,
more than to revisit the
yeah.
figurines.
I
Just
fucking
one
love the
more
memory
time.
zone. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Nice.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no
Yeah.
idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Well, now there's 7 out of 6. So
And here was a second Stanlerine. You
Yeah,
found
8
this
out
one
of 6.
all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
Boss's office.
Hey, that's exactly
Wait.
right. It was here,
Was it?
behind the boss's office. It was
I
the
don't think it
third one.
was.
You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Oh yeah? Is that what science says? Scientific fact?
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
It's a nice room. It's a nice shade of pink. I like it.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh shit. Hell yeah. Oh my god. No. Oh. Oh, the nostalgia. Oh my god. Talk about early 2000s video editing. Oh shit. I've watched way too many videos like that.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of
Does.
time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
I guess we're going this way.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other, except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Yeah, there's no choice there, huh? Yeah. Oh!
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Wait, I want to have more memories.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines?
Yes.
Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory
Yes.
zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must
Nice.
say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
More figurines.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the
Yeah.
video we watched?
I remember the video. Oh, we're watching it. Okay. Fast forward 2 times.
Yes. I
Yeah,
love
it's a
that
good video. Totally worth it. And we're in the pink room.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
It's a nice room. I like it. Nice shade of pink.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Oh, I can't go this way now. Boo! I guess we'll collect the one in the toilet.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
I don't know.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Can I not go back that way? I have to go to this exit sign. Oh shit,
Look, it's
it's
the
a jump
terrible
circle?
new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact,
I ain't
I
got
dare say I'm
jumps.
actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
More memories! Whoa. My memory's purple.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Still not a choice. Oh, it's
And
my
before
office.
everything else, there was your
Oh.
office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
I don't
There's
think so.
something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Hello?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes.
Yeah, wait,
I can
you're not
be
gonna
on my
erase
own
Stanley, are
again.
you?
I can do it.
No.
I'll be stronger this time.
No.
I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly
do need
was
Stanley.
so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay.
No,
here we
we're
go.
not retiring Stanley.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley doesn't want to be retired. Or deleted. He wants to keep... I'd like to keep existing, thank you. So if we can just, like, not delete Stanley, that'd be great. Okay?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little.
What?
This made him smile.
What?
At last, proof that he was human.
What? Hello?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
It is worth it. Can we go back to that bit about bleeding, though?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. But
my
at last,
personality.
he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Dang it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nah, I don't want to walk upstairs. I'll go back down here. No, maybe I won't go back down there. Because I've been down there before. I don't know if it'd be different. Having difficulties with decisions here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
But what if I don't, though? Then what?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
what if Stanley...
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Jumps
Each
off
bore
here.
the number of an employee in the
Then what?
building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Seeing if I can trick this thing into thinking that I'm on there when I'm not. No.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Maybe.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they
did.
kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I
No.
didn't look at you.
running from button to button, screen to screen,
I'm not.
clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Nope.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the
That's rude,
clock,
my dude.
Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up. I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing?
I want to see what happens when I fill that up.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door
Which means
on
we
his
have to
left.
do a few rounds without the game. Well,
Yet
without
there was
closing
not a
the
single
game.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, not this
But
time, my
Stanley
guy.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No,
So where are
Stanley
my
said to
feet?
himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I
Yeah.
may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it
Hell
too
yeah.
appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he
Well?
was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Yeah, but like,
is
if
as
it's not a
awake
dream,
right
why was
now
I
as
floating
he's
and the
ever
star
been
field
in
like
his life.
appeared?
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment
That's
ago?
what I'm saying.
How else would the voice explain all that? This
Yeah.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
But we were not okay.
Stanley began screaming.
You guys were still here.
Someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Ah.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Welcome back, Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Bye, Mariella. Alright, so I have to do this 3 more times. Go around a few more times.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge.
What a room, Stanley thought to himself. What a room, what a room, what a room.
It's a good room.
This is what Stanley thought. What a room.
What
a room, what a room. What a room. Va-va-voom.
Va-va-voom. What a room. And then what?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really
They're
worth
nice
it.
chairs.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on
Wait,
creepy
have you
and
seen these
reflected
chairs?
poorly on his overall personality.
They're
It's
very nice
possible
chairs.
that this is why everyone left.
Kind of look comfy, you know?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Is it? I don't think it is. Stanley thinks we should just stay here. I'm just gonna close this door. No? Okay.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
That's because I am. It's not here this time. Where the heck did it go? The heck?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
Just okay? You have anything else to say about this room?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
What? Really?
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
I don't think that's
And
true.
I think I have a solution.
I don't want to stop.
Here, let me show you.
Excuse me? What's in here? What are you trying to show me? What's this?
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this... No, wait. Where are you going?
This way?
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that?
No can
My
do,
God.
bucko.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading
Hey, man.
the situation correctly?
You know how many times you've killed me? Whee!
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
No.
But I guess that was too much to ask.
It was.
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over?
Oh,
It's going to restart, isn't it?
are
I'm
we
going
starting?
back.
Here we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No, Stanley wants that computer screen to come back. Stanley is upset it's not here.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
Nope.
doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
How
was
is it?
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
What you can do about it?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust
Sir,
in
I don't
someone
even have
else can be
the-
difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that
No, just
convinced
you.
that I want something bad to happen to you? What?
Absolutely.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
All right,
Give
show
a
me, bud.
chance.
Let's go.
Now
right,
listen
let's go.
carefully, this is important.
Okay, let's go.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Yes, red door. All right.
Oh,
This
thank
time you can
God
show me.
you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
You think so?
And I think...
I don't think
well,
we
I
would
think
be.
I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
All right, you can show me this time. Let's see it. Let's see your solution.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I
Happy.
actually feel happy.
Is this it? Is nothing else gonna happen? I guess we're just chilling. Watching the pretty colors for a bit. See if the narrator says anything after a while. These are pretty. It's giving me a bit of vertigo, though. Anything at all. I just gotta sit back and Relax. Relax. Oh shit, the stars are disappearing now too. Oh, these ones are back. Alright. Let's go see what happens if I don't
No,
jump.
wait. Where are you going?
I was bored.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Okay. So if I don't go up the stairs, what happens? Anything happen if I come back?
Good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
I want to stay here.
No. What did we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
What did we achieve? Hmm? You're happy, but maybe I'm not. You know? Maybe Stanley wants more for Stanley's life.
You are going to stay here, aren't you?
No.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
And if we go back, what? I just hang out and watch pretty colors for eternity? Hmm? I don't know, man. Seems kind of boring. I feel like this really is the only option here, my guy.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Stop moving. We just have to stop moving.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Gotta.
No. No. What are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
But you weren't saying much in that other room, so... Yeah, no.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes. Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
I probably won't. Alright.
I know you'll see. You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
I cannot. Stanley's bored.
No, perhaps not. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally
Yeah,
willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
I was fucking boring,
Am
my
I reading
guy.
the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
I don't know, man. What do you think? Okay, we're back. You got anything to say?
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
I think this is our last round up the stairs. Gotta go, my guy. Yeet.
Is it over?
It
It's
is.
going to restart, isn't it? You're
Yo.
going back.
Yeah.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
I want to get back on the desks. That was fun. I don't know how to make that computer screen come back. It's fucking gone. Yeah, I'm taking the bucket this round.
As
Come on,
Stanley
Bucket.
lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Good job, Bucket.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this, but Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death.
I was hoping
that
I
they
could
might
jump
die in
onto
one
those,
another's arms.
onto those
How
trucks.
deeply touching.
There's got to be
How
a way
long was
down
I
there,
sitting
right?
there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Mm.
When Stanley
Time is
came to a
hard.
set of 2 open doors, he entered
gotta
that
be a
this
way
was
down
not
there,
the
though,
correct
right?
way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Because there was an open...
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
There was
admire
an open
it.
door down there.
It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took
And
the
usually
first
there's not open
door on
doors
his
in this
left.
game unless you can go through them.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
See, there's gotta be a way down there.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
It doesn't like...
This is it, Stanley.
Don't
Your
the doors
chance
close
to
if I go
redeem
through there,
yourself.
though?
To put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
But don't the doors close? Like, I can't get back through here. Once I go through here, this door's gonna close. See? Oh. I can open it.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Stanley's determined to
Stanley
figure
was so
some
bad
shit
at
out.
following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Stanley just wants to touch everything.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path
that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Does that narrator get sad ending?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Nope, no one's there. You were wrong, my dude. My computer screen still hasn't come back either. Bullshit.
What new mysteries
Taking
lay
this
in store
bucket.
for our bucket-loving heroes today? Let's find out. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it
Bucket is usually correct,
Never mind. The
but we're
bucket
on
was
a
wrong.
we're on a
Stanley
mission.
took the door on his left to go back
No,
to
he's
the meeting
not.
room.
No, I'm not.
No,
Sadly.
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
No. I'm going this way again. But this time, with the bucket.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know.
Ayo.
I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always
Okay.
the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Okay, but this tape is being played in reverse.
It's unthinkable the amounts
So,
of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
What does it sound like if it's going forward?
is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there? Caporata.
What? So I thought about if someone actually was there, and
The
it
meeting
was
room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room.
I was
and from
both
then on, he would
terrified
never be alone
and found it
ever again.
hilarious. So much so that I actually spit water all over my microphone. So congratulations on that one. You got me to spit water everywhere.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
shit.
doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
There it
It
is.
was okay.
There we
But
go.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Now I don't know if these doors open. I just keep doing this. One of these doors actually does open.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten
I
off
wanna
on the
get
wrong
down
foot
there.
here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone
Nothing
you've
but
been
you.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Someone
Please,
you've forgotten
stop
about,
trying to make
Gag.
every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I just close this door.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another,
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
He's so fucking
Who'd want to
rude.
commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside.
What?
Let me show you what's really going on here.
Nope.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Nope.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
No. What if I don't push the buttons? Hmm? Nope. gonna do if I don't? Probably nothing.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further.
I think
He
after
imagined
this,
that
I'm
he
gonna
came to two open doors
quit
and
to
that he could go
desktop
through either.
and then
At
reopen
last,
it,
choice. It barely even
and we'll see
mattered
what
lay
happens.
behind each door.
Because every time
He
I've
never
reopened
thought
the,
that
every
his
time I've opened the
decisions would mean
game, something
was
different has
almost too
happened.
wonderful to behold.
So I want to see.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called
baby
it
died.
the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Also, what is that bed? The bed
But
kind of
there
looks
is
like
no
a half
answer.
bed.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing
Oh,
is
no.
pushing the same buttons he
My
always
wife.
has. Nothing
took
has
my wife.
changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Now it's gonna be stuck in my head. God damn it.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay, I'm not doing it. See? I'm not pushing the button. I don't get, like, anything for not pushing the button. Bullshit. I'm gonna throw this chair.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh no. Stanley died. What happens if I do this? And again. One more time. Oh shit. Okay, wait, it's actually different though. I know I said I was going to do the other thing.
This is a bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't
Like,
go
what
to
if
the
this is
meeting
the
room.
iteration
Go
I can
somewhere
actually
else.
go down there?
The cargo lift,
Oh,
yes.
shit.
Go.
Stanley feared that any path he walked
I didn't
might
mean to
lead
do
the
that.
separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Oh, shit. Alright. 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 Stanley Parable BRB. Stanley, coming back, it's Stanley. Stanley. What time is it? Does anyone really truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Oh, new thing. There's a new thing. New thing. Epilogue. Many, many years later. Oh, shit. We're here again. fucking office chair in a fire? Or my little no butt? Because I don't got legs or a butt. What if I just leave? The moon's pretty. Oh geez, not a sandstorm. More chairs. So many office chairs. And not a butt to sit in them. Now here we are. Still going. Got a full moon this time. Oh. Sunrise. Oh shit. Wait, is that for the memory zone? Is that the door to the memory zone? Oh, it's gotta be, because this is the room with the button, right? With the skip? Or is this... No, wait, this is the memory zone. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Memory zone. Is that a mouse? Is a mouse in the memory zone? Oh no, just squeaky boards. No mouse. Cookie Nine's blog. Review, The Stanley Parable 2. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. Where the first game teamed with originality, The Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. I like the infinite hole. I had a lot of fun in the hole.
Jim.
They all just say Jim still.
Jim.
Stanley Parable developers, no more spin-offs, no more sequels. Sign up for updates. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise, but a disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambition, as outlined in a press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been further from the truth. The press release goes on to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Oh shit, it's a bunch of Stanlerines! Yes, give me. Can I collect these? Oh my god! Yes, give me all the Stanlerines! Yes! Are there any more around here? No. Is that all of them? Stanlerines. They give me life. Hello? Hello? It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise. What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together, we're going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game, something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for a game. Alright. Stanley Parable 3. Let's go. The last ever. Oh, okay, fine. The last ever circles. No more circles. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you start the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content, recycled again and again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Yeah, sure. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you've put faith in my hands, I'll feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright, there. The achievement machine is all fixed. You see? I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. Oh my god, what is the current time? What time is it? Okay. I know I don't have to actually enter the current time, but like I want to. Cannot change the AM PM thing anymore. Alright. I guess it's 2 AM. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. 3. The last ever circles. Oh shit, there you go. Let's go back through the epilogue. Because there was another path. I'm pretty sure. And also, like, what if I can get more Stanlerines? That alone is reason to... Am I walking faster? Go. 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 That alone is reason to go through this again. More Stanlerines. More Stanlerines. More Figlies. Figlarines. What other names was he given them? I kind of miss the narrator, actually. I wonder how he's doing. Narrator, are you good? I mean, I know he can't hear me, obviously. But still, like, what if he could? What if this game was secretly, like, actually had voice recognition and shit in it? Could you imagine? What happens if I just walk past this? Wait. I kind of want to do that. I kind of just want to keep walking. Can I just keep walking? Or if I get up on top of it. Could you imagine if there was a Stanlerine back there? So I can keep walking. What's out here? Oh, hello? Oh, it just took me back. It's like, no, bitch. Fucking go in the little memory. Go in the memories. But I don't want to go in the memories. Nah, it's still about to Stanley Parable 2. Lame. Aw, and there's no Figlarines. This is bullshit. Oh, see, I thought I could go through one of these doors. Lame. not sacred. Sun explodes. Drag it through the mud and back. Narrator's problem. Don't make his mistake. Let me show you. Stanley Parable 4. A dumb subtitle. Let's go. Part 5. Love. Stanley Parable 4. Part 5. Love. It's absurd. I love it. Pick a new subtitle. Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change for you either. Sounds like work. New title screen. Now to do it. I understand. Sometimes we're not ready to move on. That's fine. If you ever change your mind and want to start inventing new sequels, come talk to me. I'll be right here. Alright, bud. Stanley Parable 4, Part 5. Love. Alright, let's quit and go back in. One more time. See if it does anything different. Nope, it didn't. Alright, let's begin the game.
This is the story.
Love me some skip button.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Return to the Stanley Parable 2 Expo Hall. Oh, yeah? We got some new content. The other guy said he wasn't making new content, though, so... Did the narrator make new content? Here we go.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable
Oh, that's right.
2.
Right.
Yes, you
We're back
see,
here.
isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are
I
so
thought he
many
was gonna do something
possibilities.
else.
It could go in so many different directions.
This is what fans have truly been asking for.
I don't think it is. And I think we've been here before. Wait. Are there more
Calling it the Stanley
rings?
Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic
Two
statement
doors.
right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Wait, if I get the bucket again, are there going to be 2 buckets? 2
A
buckets.
common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it
no
engendered
bucket
a
here.
chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well,
There's no bucket.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
But there's no...
You see,
oh,
Stanley,
there's the bucket.
anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Yes!
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing
Can you
despair,
let me out?
must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Cool,
The
let me out.
benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
God damn, finally.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an... Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm
Aw, you mean the
undecided on
balloons?
Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Oops.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
No! I want more Sandlerines!
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement... As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... What? Wait. What in the holy hell is going on? You've got the achievement? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Composure. Composure.
Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
I'm gonna give the fucking narrator a breakdown.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I've seen all of them. We've been to the jump circle.
You know
See?
what?
No
Let's
jumps.
bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2
You gotta give me
as
more
well.
jumps if we're gonna do the jump
Oh,
circle.
wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Yep.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Or you give me more jumps. Give me more jumps.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready
Yep.
to move on now?
Yep.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes,
Nope.
I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll
I don't wanna-
arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Kind of wish we went back into the hole.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of
There's
gags.
a Stan Lorraine. Give me
And
those
I do
Stan
very much
Lorraine. Oh my
enjoy
god, give me those
creating
Stan
gags, but they
Lorenes.
don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I
Well, you
wanted
can't.
fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they
yeah.
wouldn't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
Can I have the
Would
hole?
it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Are we back? Nope. We're at the Stanley Parable 4, my guy. We're part 5. Should do the epilogue again? Go to Stanley Parable 6. Let's go into the desert. In the desert on a horse with no name. It's good to be out of the rain. In the desert, nobody knows your name. Nobody to give you no pay. think they should give me more Stanlerines every time I go through this. 50 Stanlerines! Give them to me! Give me the Stanlerines! See, I think it'd be kind of funny if that changed every time. But maybe that's not in line with the game, huh? You still say Jim?
Jim, 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 Jim.
Yep, they still say Jim. And there's no Stanlerines. Which makes me angry. Hello. It's back. You're back. I'm back. Yeah, let's do it. A new sequel every time you start the game. Just put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. Never found a way to give you the broken achievement. Let's fix it. Alright, achievement's all fixed. Keep this train rolling. Stanley Parable cannot end. Are you ready? I'm ready. Enter the current time. 7:01. What if I adjust it the other way? Then what are you gonna do? Oh, it didn't let me change the thing. I guess because I... Ow! Fuck! Oh! I just hurt my toe. I guess because I didn't say yes the last time. Skip.
All of his co-workers were gone.
They're all
What could it
fucking
mean?
gone. They've
Stanley
been
decided
gone.
to go to the meeting room.
They're
Perhaps
gone
he had simply
forever.
missed a memo.
They're gone.
Finally, yes, the bucket. Yes, yes, yes. I love that bucket.
So what if I take the bucket to the Stanley Parable too? You get a bucket with my bucket, I get 2 buckets? What if I do get 2 buckets? Oh my god. Can you imagine 2 buckets? 2 buckets. What's over there? I want to go over there. I want to go that way. I want to go this way. I want to go that way. What's over there? Fine. You know what? Only because I want to know if I can get 2 buckets, okay?
You see, Stanley,
2 buckets?
I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any
You're
new
not gonna
content
comment that I
for it
have the
should
bucket?
live up to that legacy.
See my bucket?
So forget this ultra deluxe
I got a
nonsense.
bucket.
I say we take it one
I
step
wonder if Bucket
even
will love the
further.
hole.
Which
Oh
is
my
why
God. We gotta
I'm
take
very
Bucket to the
proud
hole.
to announce for the first time ever the Stanley
The
Parable.
Parable 2. For the first time ever. I've never seen this before.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Is it?
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figured that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
You think so? I don't know about that. I feel like there's a lot more science to game development than magic. There's definitely some magic, but I think it's more science than magic. Not more magic
Here
than
we
science,
are.
for
Go
sure.
on. Try out some of the new features.
Alright, I'm gonna go get that bucket. It's bucket time.
Wait, there are 2 buckets here. How did you get a second bucket? Oh no, the warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With 2 buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me? Are you with me?
Oh my god!
Stanley!
Oh my god!
Thank God, I didn't lose
My
you.
bucket's
Stanley,
exploded.
the power of 2 buckets was too much. I had to destroy both of them.
No,
I know
my
how much
bucket!
the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take the risk. I hope one day you can forgive me.
I wanted to take the bucket to the hole. Now I'm gonna have to restart the game. I'm gonna have to restart now. See what you did, narrator? We've got to begin the game again. It's actually almost time to
All of his co-workers were gone. What could he
start
learn?
wrapping this up.
Stanley decided to go to the
So
meeting
take the bucket to the
room.
hole and then
Perhaps
we'll
he had simply
see.
missed a memo.
One man, one bucket.
We'll see
one
from
chance
there.
to seize their destiny together.
One man, one bucket. I've seen that video. Bucket in a hole. Bucket in a hole.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live
Legacy.
up to that
Yep.
legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe
No more ultra
nonsense.
deluxe.
I say we take it one step even further. Which
Even
is why
further.
I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever...
Definitely not like the
Stanley
12th time I've gone through this.
2.
Absolutely the first time I've ever seen any
Yes,
of
you
this.
see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of
Yeah,
all the
man.
new territory
It's
we'll
totally
cover with a
amazing.
fully fledged sequel. An entirely
never
new
seen any of
experience,
this.
built from the ground up.
This is
Why,
so
there are
brand
many
new.
possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This
So
is
many.
what fans have truly been asking for.
Truly.
Now, to be clear,
Yep.
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself
I don't
out.
think that's how it
Game
works, my guy.
development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh, there's the hole. You can get... Gotta get to the hole. I think Bucket will really enjoy the hole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
No.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on
No.
the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I
Me,
figured
bitch?
the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
No, you're the problem.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we
Yeah,
just
you
put
definitely
all this
did.
behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go
No.
ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Yeah, but like, what if I don't, though? Then what are you gonna do? I don't think he does anything.
Great. Now,
I think we've
I'm
done
very
this.
excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal
man,
person would have
holes
said,
matter.
"Yeah, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's
Yeah,
going
man.
on here?
It's not even kind of deep.
Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
There it
The shape-
goes.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working?
It's not.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago.
Well,
Try it
obviously
again.
you broke it because you don't appreciate holes. Duh. It's not working, my guy.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
Well, I guess I get
Take
to beat
care,
the hole
Stanley.
in my
I hope
bucket.
you and the hole
That's
have a
fine.
wonderful rest of eternity.
Bye. The hole. It's becoming more hole. More hole. More hole. More hole. More hole. Woo! Oh my god. How you doing in there, Stanley?
Stanley? Stanley! Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that.
Yeah, I was having fun.
Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment.
No, I wanna go back
how
to where I
about
was.
if I just pop in from time to time
How
and
about you
wake
don't?
you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole. From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Alright, I think we're gonna leave it there for today. Because I do have to skedaddle. But I will see you all. Ooh, breaking shit. Breaking shit. Okay. No. Stop. I will see y'all next time. Bye.